Hey, old Josh here, and this is my review of Drive Angry, starring Nicolas Cage. I know this is a movie I didn't think I would actually enjoy. PG-13 action movies, particularly with Nicolas Cage, it's not doing it any favors in my mind. And all the commercials and trailers made it look like a bad Gone in 60 Seconds or Fast and the Furious ripoff with a little bit of Ghost Rider thrown in, and frankly, that's kind of what it is, but the main difference here is that this movie mostly resembles and goes for the tone of a Grindhouse movie, and this blows my mind, frankly. This movie is actually very similar to Ghost Rider. One father breaks out of hell after long being dead with a sweet car and a gun that, if you think about it logically, really seems like a flaw in the whole Satan's plan thing, but besides the point, to rescue his granddaughter, who is now going to be sacrificed at the night of the next full moon by this one cult that's killed his daughter. Now, of course, the movie goes through all the paces that you would expect, and it features, as is really unexpected, frankly, enormous amounts of violence, ridiculously over-the-top measures of sexuality, and a really good sense of humor about itself, and that actually really separates it, really differentiates it from other movies of this ilk, because when things take themselves too seriously nowadays, and that's not to say that I don't like things that take themselves seriously. In fact, I do quite love it when things do that more often than not, because it's kind of a paradox, but I can't stand things that take themselves too seriously when they don't deserve it, but at the same time, I need them to have a certain amount of respectability for themselves, if that makes any sense. Like, it can't be too knowing, I guess is the right word. At any rate, though, the plot itself is not bad. It goes through all the expected paces. The climax is not quite as great as I was hoping it would be, but admittedly my expectations were really bolstered by the rest of the movie. And that's a good thing, and what I really want to get across in this review is that if you like the Grindhouse movies, frankly I actually didn't, but like that style of movie, I should say, kind of like ultra-violent action movies with a sharp sense of humor, then this movie is actually for you, believe it or not. This movie did abysmally in the box office, so it's not like you're going to see another Drive Angry, but you wouldn't want to, in all fairness. It's not really a sequelable movie, I guess. I mean, I guess you could, but really, why would you at this point? Then again, they are doing sequels just about everything else. But like I said, the plot's pretty good. It's about what you'd expect, but the way it goes through itself is a lot of fun. Particularly Nicolas Cage does a really fantastic performance for this type of movie. Not actually great acting, but really plays the part well, I think. Very silly and over the top, but that's what you want to see. That's what you want to see. The female lead really doesn't do a whole lot except look the part. And one thing does need to be noted, though. Cannot recall the actor's name off the top of my head, and you'll have to forgive me for this, but the main antagonist of the film, the accountant, really steals the show in every scene that he's in. Frankly, he's just so much fun to watch, and probably the best actor of the bunch. I mean, not to discredit Nicolas Cage's good performance, but those were a while ago outside of Port au Call, New Orleans, right? But with him in the mix, they really get kind of this, not buddy cop style of story going, but I mean a buddy cop style of humor where it's like, oh, we don't like each other, but we're still kind of working together, and that's really cute to see in the context. Particularly, I was very surprised by the leader of the cult here, who is actually played by Billy Burke, which, if anyone recalls, is actually the dad from Twilight, and that blew my mind, because frankly, I will never be able to look at him in the same way again, because he's one evil mother right here, and a lot of fun to watch, really fun to hate, I guess is the best word. And between him and the accountant, it really just provides a great narrative thrust to the movie. It's a very simple plot, but it gets it done with panache. Some of the effects are a little mediocre, though. That is something to be noted. This movie only cost about $40 or $50 million, is what's estimated at, and it looks about that, admittedly. But at the same time, this is not a movie you'd expect to even look this good, to be perfectly frank. Usually these movies are just, bottom of the barrel, not having anything spent on them. But this one actually looks decent. It's filmed very slickly, if nothing else, and the effects do serve their purpose. And while they are fake, honestly, these things are not going to look real if you put hundreds of millions of dollars into them. They're just ridiculous. And again, I'm not going to spoil any of them, But suffice to say, if you are on the border, on the edge of watching this movie, definitely go watch it. If you're still wondering what the fuck what the fuck movie it kind of is, my best bet would probably say, I'm not even sure I can think of a good comparison. If you like kind of off the wall action movies, I'm talking Crank, I'm talking Machete, you definitely need to check this movie out. If you're honestly just not really sure what to see at the theater this coming week, go see Drive Angry. You'll probably be pleasantly surprised with it, like I was, if you are liking or inclined to like this type of movie. If not, you're definitely going to hate it. It's a very divisive movie, I think. But those who will like it are going to like it a lot. And while it's not the best movie I've seen this year, and I realize I've been kind of cutting back on the reviews a little, apologies. We'll get more soon. Final Gamma review is coming out this month. At any rate, go check this movie out. Drive Angry, it's a pretty good movie. The only thing I have to say is that the soundtrack was also quite suiting. There was some really good use of songs here. I really appreciate it when filmmakers can work in actual lyrical songs into the film without it really ruining the pace or seeming cheap. I know that particularly a lot of teen movies do this, but really poorly. This, I think, really added to the mood. And if nothing else, this movie is all about just having fun and the silly, cheesy mood that it builds up. And I think it definitely succeeds on that level. I think it deserves a little more credit than it's getting. Not the best movie, never going to be a huge blockbuster. Not sure why they sunk as much money into it as they did. But at any rate, I would advise you go see Drive Angry. Surprised more people didn't see it considering Nicolas Cage is in it, but what can you do, I guess, right? Anyway, go see Drive Angry. It's got my recommendation.